Good morning to you, just after 9:45, and it's been a nervous morning for lots of people today, but as we celebrate GCSE Results Day, we're lucky to be joined by Mrs. Nicola Renyard, head teacher at Wycombe High School, and 3 students as well. And perhaps we start with Mrs. Renyard. You look happy, so I'm guessing that's a good sign to start us off, isn't it?
Yeah, morning, Luke. Yeah, very happy morning. Lovely to have all of our students in school this morning collecting their GCSE results and big beaming smiles.
Yes, and obviously for this cohort, a bit like we said, ironically last week for the A-level students, it's the first time they've experienced the process of going through the public exam process and then the nervous wait for results. So it's a really important morning, and emotions, I'm sure, running high.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of that run up to results day, especially for the year 11 students who sort of see the A-level results roll out a week ahead of them, have sort of got all that anxious wait, finding out how they've got on, and such high stakes for them. It's really important for opening next doors to their place in the sixth form or in a college to move on to their further study. So I can sort of well sympathise with all of the feelings of stress and anticipation that have been going on in households across Wycombe and across the country. And we're just really, really pleased that the students have been able to come in. We can celebrate with them all of their great success. 3 of them with me who have absolutely just achieved everything we could have hoped for. So very, very proud of the whole cohort this year.
And before we speak to the students you've got with you, how have the cohort done as a whole at Wycombe High this year?
Yeah, very pleased. I mean, as you will have been following on the media, there's lots in the press about the way that the GCSEs have been marked this year, sort of moving away from some of the allowances that have been made during the COVID years. And it's been very difficult for students and their families, and indeed for staff in schools as they've watched that coverage and sort of feeling really nervous about what impact that might have. But we're delighted that we have a very, very healthy number of the top grades. Our students have been able to secure their place in our sixth form, which is fantastic, to study all of the subjects that they want to study. So we're really, really delighted about that.
Excellent. And let's speak to some of your students now as well as they're with us. So we've got Poppy to start us off. How are you feeling after your opening your results this morning?
Really good. Yeah, it was a really nice surprise, I think. Yeah, it wasn't really expected, so it was nice to see.
And I suppose obviously the first time you've done formal exams, it's been it's a challenging experience to go through when you do it for the first time, and then also having the lengthy wait for results. How was that?
Yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking after doing them to sort of wait quite a long time. You sort of, by the time results day rolls around, you've sort of had a lot of time to sort of think it over and think how you've done. So yeah, it was quite nervous.
But you're happy with how things went overall, so that's fantastic. So congratulations on your results. Ashley is with us as well, and how did things go for you this morning?
Yeah, they went really well. I'm really happy with my results, so it feels really good that I've opened them and now that's done, one thing out of the way.
Yes, absolutely. That I can remember still from years ago now, that feeling of the last sort of hour or so before you get your results seems to feel like it stretches on for what feels like about a day, and then finally the moment of relief when you can open the envelope. And how are you? What are your next plans? I presume are you staying at the sixth form?
Yes, I'm staying at the sixth form here.
Which subjects are you going to be studying?
I'm doing chemistry, maths, and sport.
Fantastic. Well, you can hopefully enjoy a well-earned celebration after you've been released from media duties, and look forward to that next step. And Amelia is here as well, looking very happy with an envelope in your hand. How did you get on?
Yeah, I was really pleased because it was quite a relief to see that I'd done how well I hoped I would, and yeah, I was really pleased with my results.
I'm sensing a common theme here of relief at the moment that people can open their results, which is definitely something that I'm sure is being felt around the area and around the country as well. I mean, how was the experience for you of going through exams for the first time after having had, perhaps maybe not this year is disrupted by COVID, but the earlier years in your secondary education?
Yeah, I was quite stressed. It was a lot of late nights of revision, and yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to do, and I wanted to make sure I'd done as much as I could to prepare. So yeah, it was quite stressful, but I think it went well in the end. So
Yes, it's worth it in the end. I suppose there's that feeling before you go into it of, I know that I'm guilty of this, doing it both as a student and in my day job as a teacher as well, of kind of thinking about the worst case scenario and imagining what if everything goes wrong. But the moment of relief is certainly something. So definitely something you can enjoy there. We also have some parents on hand as well, who I'm sure are feeling the stress as well this morning. So shall we bring the parents in? There's no escaping here on WYCOMBE Sound. Everyone's got to be involved. How were the nerves in the families this morning? Here we go. In come the parents. Shall we start off with Poppy's mum? How were you feeling at home this morning?
I wasn't too bad. It was Poppy. Very, very snappy this morning, but obviously fully justified. But yeah, just so proud of what she's done.
It's certainly that moment of as you've all said, relief as well, of getting the results processed through. Ashley's mum is with us as well, and how are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, really happy and super proud, and that's all I'm going to say, because otherwise I'll cry again.
That's the joys of results day, definitely. And Amelia's mum as well. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, very much so, and so proud of her, and being through the pandemic and working really hard. It's just so good to see that all paid off, and she's done really well.
Excellent, and it's certainly a day to celebrate all of the hard work that's gone in, not just over the last 2 years, but really over the 5 years of your secondary education, because they all build up to this, and you can now look forward to what's coming next. But perhaps a question for Mrs. Renyard now, because there will be some people who perhaps might not have had such a pleasant surprise when they opened their envelopes this morning. So, what would your advice be if people are now wondering what do they do to consider their next steps?
Yeah, I think it's talk to us in school, talk with your parents, share how you're feeling, share where you feel that it hasn't gone quite as well as you hoped. I mean, we're proud of what all of our students have achieved, and there are a range of grades achieved by students. That's the reality of examinations, and this one day can sometimes take away from all of that hard work that's gone on over the last 2-3 years, all channeling towards those exams, and that shouldn't be forgotten. So we're incredibly proud of how hard all of our students have worked, and to secure the results that they've got. But if it hasn't gone their way, we've got lots of staff in school this morning ready to support them, ready to talk them through next steps. It's never as bad as it first seems, if that's the situation that you're facing. So we're here to reassure them of that, and to help them through if they need that help.
And that will certainly be the same situation mirrored in every secondary school this morning. And we've seen also in the headlines this morning about how there's been a difference in grading in England compared to Wales and Northern Ireland after the way that they've decided the boundaries was set. I mean, do you think those kind of things are helpful, or is it just another headline?
I've not had much time to digest the news this morning. We've been on site from very early, just focusing on our students. So that's something that I'll sort of turn my attention to a bit later, and have a bit of reading time around that. I think it can be really worrying when you're directly involved in the process to see what those headlines are reporting. Sometimes there's some merit in those reports, and sometimes it's sort of taking a piece of information slightly out of context. So we'll have a look at that as a school. But for our students, first and foremost, what matters is what's in their envelopes and what their future plans are. And that's what we're here to do first and foremost, is to support them.
Absolutely, and as we said last week with A levels, it's fantastic for you to be able to have the full cohort in person and see the full all the aspects of the school community with students and parents and staff on site as well, to celebrate what's been 2 years of extremely hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just one of the hardest things about working in education during the COVID years was that inability to interact with people face to face. And, we work in schools because we enjoy working with people. And one of the things we pride ourselves on here at Wycombe High is those really strong staff-student relationships, and also with our parents too. So it has been amazing to be able to chat with the students face to face, sharing their celebrations, but also to congratulate our parents. They've had a big role in supporting the students outside of school and helping their stress levels over the last couple of years. So these are their results too.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the students will also want to be, saying giving their appreciation to both their parents for supporting them and keeping them going through what has been the stress of exams as well, and also to their teachers for helping them. And I suppose as well for you as well, this is the culmination of your first year as head teacher at Wycombe High. You must be feeling proud of everything that's been achieved.
Yeah, incredibly proud. I mean, it is a wonderful school to be the head teacher of. It's my absolute privilege to be the head teacher here. And days like this make all of the hard work worth it. So it's fantastic.
Excellent. Well, certainly from everyone here at Wycombe Sound, a huge congratulations to you and your students on what has been certainly a nerve-wracking morning, I'm sure, but you've got hopefully lots of celebrations lined up for later on during the day. Now, we were going to play a very appropriate song to mark this occasion. However, this is where I have to put my radio presenter hat on and look at the time because it's coming up to 10 o'clock. So I'm not going to play 20 seconds of celebration and then cut it short dramatically. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, in a second, we'll go to the news because some things have to be done on time. And then as soon as we've done that, we will play Cool and the Gang and Celebration for you to celebrate all of your hard work. But Mrs. Renyard and Poppy, Ashley and Amelia and your mums who we've dragged in, thank you very much for joining us on Wycombe Sound this morning.
Thanks, Luke.
Online, on Radio Player and on 106.6 FM.